have a strap ready. Come onto your back or your tummy, whatever you'd prefer actually. And we're just going to take a few moments just to kind of come to the mat really, and then just give yourself a moment just to anchor down towards the earth. So when you're ready, you might want to take your feet just to the corners of the mat. You might want to just let your hands rest by the side of the body and just give yourself a minute just to come down towards the mat, just welcoming in your practice this evening. And maybe just take this opportunity to take a little roll through the shoulders. Maybe just a little shake out of the legs whilst you're lying down, whatever feels good. You could just shake out through the ankles. And we're really just going to start by welcoming in a little bit of peace, really, just with everything that's going on, I suppose, right now outside of this class and just in this world. So maybe if it feels comfortable, you could place one hand just on your chest and then the other hand on top. So we just connect maybe into the heart space or the heart center. Yeah. And just really welcoming in peace to ourselves, peace perhaps within our life, our body, our internal landscape, but also just welcoming in this peace to our external world as well. And perhaps just allowing yourself to let go here of your day, giving yourself this time and space just to create this peace, create this space, create this time just to stop and pause and letting yourself just be. Peace we achieve when we don't expect anything from the world, but only give. So just allowing ourselves to give. Perhaps that's love or connection. Perhaps even just dedicating this practice to yourself or someone, or even just sending this out to the world. And then when you're ready, just releasing your hands completely. Yeah, we're going to just start to come into sitting. So just take your time. You could rock and roll onto your side, or you could just start to bring yourself into a bit more of a upright position here. And just bring myself back. But yeah. Okay, and then we're just going to start by a little bit of breath work. So you can let your hands just rest onto your knees or your thighs, maybe just turning the palms up to the sky, and then we're going to connect the thumb and the first finger together, just in that little O shape. So just taking this mudra, yeah, lovely. And then just allow the shoulders to soften, maybe a bit of a length through the spine, and then just come and close down the eyes, or maybe soften your gaze, whatever feels comfortable here. And just take a moment to start to feel into your breath. And without any judgment or force here, I just want you to become aware of your breath. So can you notice inhaling and exhaling? And can you notice maybe the movement of your breath just rising and falling? And you can begin just to allow the body to settle here. So nothing else that you need to do, nowhere else that you need to be. But just allowing your breath to come and to go. And perhaps just allowing yourself to inhale peace as you draw your breath in. And then you're just going to turn your awareness to whether you can feel the movement in your chest and whether you can feel that movement in your belly. And if you can't, don't worry, you might find you can just feel that there's a bit of movement in either space, either your chest or your belly. Maybe the movement's coming a little bit more from your chest, and that's all okay. Just welcome it all in with your breath. And just starting to slow everything down. Perhaps directing this breath in through your nose and then just out through your mouth. Take a couple more moments just here with your breath. Nice and slow, nice and steady. No force, just simply breathing. Bringing your palms together now. Let's give the hands a rub. And then just take your hands either back to your heart space as we started, maybe just letting the hands rest on the chest here, or maybe just over the eyes, the forehead, whatever feels natural for you to do so, just placing this warmth somewhere. And then just starting to open your eyes. Let the hands just rest anywhere that's comfortable, hands on knees or by the side of the body. You're going to just turn your head and neck over to the right and just have a little look to the right hand side of your mat. Yeah, lovely. And then you're going to draw a little bit of a circle with your eyes. So you're going to look up to the ceiling all the way around and then look to your left. So rather than looking down, we're kind of looking up today. So look over your left shoulder now. Maybe just notice what you can see here, just taking your surroundings. And then we're going to go up again to the sky. So imagine that you're just drawing a circle or a rainbow with your eyes. And then we're going to look over to the right hand side. Take a moment just to pause here. And then you're going to drop chin to chest and go downwards with this movement. So chin to chest center. Start to draw your left ear to your left shoulder. It's a slightly different neck movement here. So once you've drawn your left ear to your left shoulder, you should be able to feel a bit of a stretch through the right hand side of your neck. We're then going to lift our right arm away from the floor. Now you might find you need to lift it higher. You might find it needs to go lower, but just see if you can find that kind of sweet spot, yeah, where you feel a bit more of a stretch. We're all going to have different kind of places here, so all good. And just hold for a moment here, maybe taking your breath in, taking your breath out. And dropping your right arm, we're going to drop chin back down to chest, taking right ear to right shoulder. This time we're stretching to the left hand side of the neck. And then we're going to lift that left arm. So again, it might just be a small amount. You might need to take it a little higher, but you're aiming to find a bit more of a stretch really through the neck here. It might be a bit into shoulder, but a little bit more into your neck. Right ear stays at right shoulder. And we just stretch through the left hand side of the neck, taking a breath. Chin back down to chest center. And dropping the hand, come to center and just take a little bit of a roll here. You might want to just shake out whatever feels good. Yeah. Cat-cow in sitting, hands on the knees or thighs. We're going to drop the chin to the chest. Take a little bit of a round through the back, really C-shape the spine. And then just starting to lift the head and neck forwards. Let's lift up nice and long. And just take some nice waving movements here, softening the chin to the chest and then lifting up through the head and neck. And maybe we can start to include the arms, maybe sweeping the arms forwards and then reaching up as we go, if that feels good. Yeah, sometimes it's nice just to think about almost washing away here. So whatever it is that you just need to let go of and wash away, sweep it away from the body. Almost imagine those hands being like a little brush, just sweep it away. And then just allowing ourselves to keep what we need, drawing what we need. Last one here, softening as we go. And then coming down towards your mat, just make a little bit of space. We're going to start to use the strap here for our legs. So if you guide yourself onto your back, have your strap ready. Feel free just to have something underneath your head, whatever feels good, but you're going to bring yourself all the way down so you line up your back again. Nice. And then once you're here, we're going to hug our right knee into our chest and just take the strap onto the base of the right foot. So we're going to stretch that right leg into the air, just using your strap. So you can hold the strap either side. Yeah, maybe just using your right hand to hold the right hand side, left hand to hold left hand side, or you could have the strap in one hand, up to you. Yeah, but that right leg is just stretching in the air. It's nice and long. Our toes can come towards our head, so we're just giving the right leg a nice big stretch with the strap. Those of you that have got your left knee bent, maybe just see if you can straighten through your left leg. That way we get a little bit more of a stretch into the front of the left hip as well. And we're going to pause here. So without too much movement or waving around, just take a little moment to pause. Doesn't need to be a super intense stretch as we're starting here. Feel free to bend the knee back off if you need to. Nice, and just pause here. Toes towards your head, finding any length that feels good for you. And then if it feels good, we'll invite in a bit of movement. So maybe just moving the strap side to side, moving the leg side to side. Yeah, and just guiding it from left to right. It could start to cross the midline of the body a little bit here. And it could start to go out to the side. Yeah, so maybe just taking a little bit of a bigger movement if it feels good. And then we're going to drop that right leg all the way out into the side. So you're going to bring it all the way over to the right. You might find it doesn't go all the way down to the floor, but that's all good. Just see if you can give it a little bit more of a stretch here. You might have to wiggle over to your left-hand side, but that right leg is going to come out to the side. We're really trying to stretch the inside here, inside of the thigh, inside of the leg. So maybe just see if you can feel into some sensation on the inside of that right thigh. And you can keep hold of the strap maybe just with your right hand and just drop it down towards the earth. Pause in here. Couple more breaths. We're going to bring that right knee back to center. Release the strap from your right foot, your right knee, and then we're going to circle into that right hip and knee. So your hands can be on the top of the knee, the back of the knee, but just give that right hip and knee a little bit of a circle around. And we'll go both directions, just circling right, circling left. Yeah, just ease it off a little bit here. Nice. Again, just checking with that left leg. Let's have that left leg just nice and long. Left knee just resting down towards the earth. Nice. And then we're going to see if we can do the same little stretch, but with our hand this time. So rather than using your strap, see if you can take hold of your right big toe. You might want to bring your right elbow and your right arm on the inside of your right leg, but see if you can just stretch that right leg any amount into the air, just using your hand. And again, that knee might be really bent, that's all good. You might find the knee can straighten, but just see if you can really hold that big toe. So extended big toe pose, sometimes we do this in standing, but you're just trying to stretch that leg with your hand. Yeah, really nice. And just pausing here. Bending into your right knee, let's straighten the right leg all the way down. Reset yourself a little bit in the mat here and take a nice big full body stretch. So arms above the head, legs nice and long. Almost make yourself as big or as long as you can. Yeah, take up space here on your mat. Don't be afraid to just welcome in this space. Take it all up, soak it all in. And then hugging your left knee into the chest, we're going to take the strap onto the base of the left foot and do exactly the same. So you're going to straighten the left leg into the air. Feel like we've not done strap work for ages. So just straighten that left leg into the air, toes towards your head. And again, you could hold the strap either side, or we could just hold it with just the left hand. And let's just take quite a static stretch or a still stretch to start with. Yeah, without the need to sort of move too much. Just see if you can find and feel into this stretch to begin with. And again, check in with the knee. Can you straighten your right leg now? So your right leg just lengthens down towards the earth. And then just pause in here. And I forgot to say at the end, as always, with the weather being hot, just take it at your own pace. If you need to stop and grab a drink, feel free. Yeah, nothing too strenuous here, but it is still warm, I know. So just do what you need to keep hydrated. Nice, and then let's take some movement with that leg. So keeping it in the air, again, just using your strap, give it a little move side to side. We really want to think about the outside and then moving it to the inside as well. So maybe just crossing through the center of the body as well. And just giving it a little wave side to side. This just works into the hip. Great. And then we're going to take that left leg all the way down, or as far as it will go, to the left-hand side. Again, you might find it doesn't go all the way. It might be that you need to just drop it a little bit lower. But we're going to use that strap to give us a stretch on the inside of that left thigh. So your left leg is now dropping out to the side. It's on the floor, or maybe it's just hovering a little bit. You really want your right leg straight because it'll make it easier. Yeah, perfect. Nice, and just hold it there. If it's kind of hovering away from the floor, maybe just drop it down, bring it a bit lower. Yeah, it doesn't need to be all the way up to the side. Great, and you might find that holding the strap with just one hand, so just your left hand now, is a bit easier, and you're going to hold it there. Yeah, so feel just into that inner thigh. Not always a place that gets a kind of good stretch out, really. So just pause in here. And then when you're ready, just bring the strap to center. I always find it's a bit, feels quite a hard movement to do sometimes, but give it a good move back to the middle. Take the strap off and then just give yourself those little knee circles, knee hugs, just circling around your left hip and knee. And we can wave it just in a circle, circling both directions. Just ease it all out here. And then we're going to use a hand to do that extended leg position. So you're going to take hold of your big toe. It could be on the inside of your left knee. So your left arm is on the inside of the left leg. And then we're going to straighten it any amount. And again, you could keep the knee really bent. You may have the knee straight, whatever feels good. And just see if you can find a bit of length here. Just working into these hamstrings. Yeah, the calf, the back of the leg. All good. Breathe easy, take a few moments. What is it that you need just to welcome in your peace? Nice. Now, I'd love you to bend into that left knee and draw your right knee into your chest. So both knees are now hugging in. So you can release the foot. Yeah, draw both knees in. Just give yourself a nice big knee hug whilst you're lying on your back. Yeah, brilliant. And just give yourself a nice little rock roll side to side. You might want to circle the knees around as well. Yeah, whatever feels good. Last little bit of movement here on your back. And then when you're ready, just start to rock and roll yourself into a bit more of an upright seated position. Let's come into sitting. And we're going to use the strap again, just in sitting with the shoulders. So the strap generally is a little long for this, so you might want to just take it so it's on that half position. Yeah, so just popping it so that it's up. Yeah, perfect. And then we'll just start in sitting any way that feels comfortable. You can be cross-legged or you can just legs stretched out, whatever feels good. And you're just going to take the strap to shoulder height to begin with. We're going to work a little bit with the twists here. So you're going to bring your strap over to the right-hand side and just allow the spine, the body to twist over to the right. And we're going to pause here. And then we're going to go over to the left. So just in sitting, left shoulder, left arm, just over to the left. Yeah, lovely. And just take a little bit of a twist here. And you can let your head and neck just come with you as you go. So we'll do one more to each side. Yeah. So as you look over to the right and you bring your arm over to the right, just send your gaze over as well. And then one more to the left. So again, just sending your gaze, your head and neck with you. And then let's come back to center. Release the strap. Just give the shoulders a little circle or a little roll. Maybe taking the hands just onto the shoulders. Yeah, just ease it out there. Let's go both directions. So just circling one way, circling the other way. And then we're going to use that strap just to lift into the air. So if you take hold of the strap, and you probably want it about shoulder distance apart, so it's kind of relatively wide. Reaching the arms into the air, let's lift up through the head and neck. So we're going to come into a bit of a cat-cow almost here. And then you're going to sink the chin to the chest, round through the back, and just let the strap stay out in front of you. So a little bit like those cat-cows that we did at the beginning, but just use your strap to really give you some length here. As you lift up, you can really stretch the arms up. And then as you soften the shoulders down, you can just let the arms rest in front of you. And we'll just take a few here. They can be big, they can be small, but allow that strap to really open up through the chest a little bit. You might feel it through the shoulders, even after just a few. Yeah, always feels a little bit harder. Last couple here. And then once you've done last one, let's release the strap. Just give the shoulders a little bit of a hug there. And then we're going to come into a little bit of a wrap position with the arms. So you can leave the strap now, but you're just going to wrap the arms around the body like you're giving yourself a nice big hug. The hands are going to wrap just around the back of the shoulder blades. The chin is going to drop to the chest. So we've got a bit of a shoulder stretch kind of going on here, a bit in the shoulder blades as well. And then you're going to pause here. So you might want to just drop the chin to the chest, just let everything relax a little bit. And just take a moment to pause here, just really breathing into this. Perhaps think about breathing into the belly, letting your belly just rise and fall, letting the shoulders just really round. And you can almost creep your hands around your shoulders a little bit more once you've been here, so you get a little bit more of that stretch through the shoulders. So self-care pose, or a little variation of our eagle arms stretch. Couple more breaths here. Again, just giving yourself a little moment of compassion, self-care. Take a breath in, reach the arms out to the side. You're going to swap over. So if you interlace those elbows again, just switch over. If you can remember which one you had in front, just switch over the arms, give yourself a nice big hug, drop the chin to the chest and just pause here. Again, a nice stretch into the back of the shoulders. You might want to just see if you can walk those fingertips kind of round so you get a bit of a deeper, nice big hug. And just pause here. So just a nice one to really connect to your body, yourself here. Take a nice deep breath in. Open those arms nice and wide. Yeah, lovely. And then just come back to center. Okay, so we're going to come onto hands and knees now. I've just prepped a couple of blocks. You don't need them here, but we're going to come into a low lunge. So if you know that you prefer a bit of support with your lunge, then feel free, but totally up to you. So let's start in tabletop position, and we're just going to circle the hips around. So a nice big circle with the hips when you're ready. Just taking the hips from right to left. Yeah, just ease everything out. We've kind of worked already into the lower body and upper body. So hopefully everything feels a little bit warmer. And then we'll circle the other way. So nice big circles, just opposite direction. Your head and neck can relax, and really just soften into the elbows as well. So the wrists can just soften a little bit. The fingertips can soften. Almost think about just pressing your fingertips into the floor rather than taking the weight through the wrist. So we just protect the wrist joint a little bit here. And then in your tabletop position, lift your right hip and knee. Give those right hips and knees circles. So just circling around, making some nice shapes here. And then circle the opposite direction. So just inviting some movement, circling through that right hip and knee. And then we're going to step that right foot forwards to come into this lunge position. So low lunge position here. We're going to keep the back knee down just to start with. If you want to use blocks, you could prop yourself up on the blocks to come to here. We could have flat with the blocks, always an option, or we can always go without. But we're going to just pause here for a moment. I really want you to feel into the stretch on that left hip. So if you're not feeling anything on your left hip, left thigh, you might want to nudge your left knee back a little bit and really sink that left hip down. Yeah. So we're pausing here and breathe. Stay with it. Nice. Shoulders can be soft. You made it here. Well done. Now, option to stay here, a few more breaths. If you'd like to come into a full low lunge, the toes and the left foot could curl under, and we could just take a few moments to be here with that left knee lifted. Nice. Any options? Great. Just pause in here. Find your breath. Think of that softness and ease. No force here. Just welcome all those sensations in. No good, no bad. Softening that left knee down, we'll be gentle with that left knee. Uncurl through the left toes. You're going to guide yourself back into tabletop position. And then just come off the wrist for a moment. You could sit on the knees or just sit in a cross-legged position. Just come off the wrist and just give that wrist a little circle. Maybe even just a little massage through the forearms. Maybe a little hand rub, whatever feels good. Yeah, just shake it out and release a little bit here through the wrist. We're going to come back into that tabletop position and we're going to circle left hip and knee. So again, when you're ready, really soften into the elbows as we're here. Think about the fingertips almost just pressing down, and then your left hip and knee are going to circle around. And again, if it feels a little much on the wrist, you can always make a fist here. Yeah. So just allowing yourself to be kind to these joints, even in these movements that we kind of do all the time really, but just a little reminder. So we'll circle into that left hip and knee. And let's take a few one direction, a few the other way. Don't worry too much about your back. You can let your back just move and flow a little bit. And then we're going to step that left foot forward. So again, either with blocks or without. Blocks could be flat. We could go a little higher. We could come to here even. Or we could take it low, whatever feels good. No blocks. And again, we're going to pause here. So think about that right thigh this time. If you're not feeling too much on that right thigh, you could nudge that right knee back a little bit. But we're pausing here. And our left knee is roughly in line with our left ankle. So we're trying not to overshoot that left knee too much. Just again, protecting that left knee a little bit. So just checking with the left knee. And again, option to stay here, or we could go a little deeper, maybe curling the right toes and then just pressing that right knee up to the sky. Yeah, we could be here maybe just for a few breaths. Nice. Pause. Keep breathing. And then softening that right knee down. Let's uncurl through the toes. Again, just guiding yourself back into tabletop position. Come off the knees and the wrists. And again, just give yourself a little bit of a shake out. Maybe circle again into the wrist. Give the knees a little bit of a rub. And we're going to come back onto the knees, but we're going to come into child's pose now. So feel free to grab any props that you need, because we are going to be here and just taking it as a little bit more of a yin pose for a few minutes really. So up to you with your props. You might want to support your head. If you've got bolsters, you could pop bolsters just underneath your chest now. You could pad underneath knees, but I just want you to take a moment to, as we come into this, just really give yourself an extra moment to be as comfortable as you can. If you've got bolster, you could just guide yourself, yeah, down here. Anything maybe just a little extra to support you here is all good. And those knees are apart, the big toes just kissing, touching each other, and the belly just softening. And perhaps just inviting some darkness in, just closing the eyes or beginning to soften your gaze. Perhaps just reminding yourself that you allow your own peace to be protected. At any point, you can come back to this peace just by stopping, breathing, connecting to yourself, connecting to your yoga practice. Perhaps despite the chaos, I welcome in peace. And last week we had a summer solstice practice, working this on this idea of just being that halfway point through the year. A nice time to remind ourselves of how far we've come. And we're going to be here for about another minute or so, so you can stay just as you are. If you have your head turned to one side on your bolster or your prop, you could just turn it to the other side. Yeah, but if you've got your head down, you're all good. You can just stay as you are. So beginning just to deepen through your breath. You don't need to move here, but perhaps just starting to feel a little bit deeper as you inhale and as you exhale with your breaths. We're going to start to think about moving. So you might want to just move and wiggle into your toes. Maybe take a little shift from right to left. Yeah, just in your child's pose. Maybe even a little bit of movement forwards, backwards. And then we're going to guide ourselves just to come back into sitting. So just take your time, bring yourself just back into sitting, just kind of at the centre of your mat or whatever's good, yeah. And just give yourself a moment here. It might be nice just to stay in this stillness for a moment. If you want to take a little bit of movement, maybe just come to some gentle shoulder rolls, maybe just some gentle elbow circles. And if you just want to stay in the stillness, feel free just to be. All good. And then we're going to set ourselves up for lion butterfly. If you know that the hips need a bit of support, you might want to just grab the blocks now. And we're going to draw the soles of the feet together, knees are going to come apart, and then we're going to start to lie down here. So you're going to bring yourself all the way back down onto your mat. Again, we are going to be here for a few minutes, so get yourself comfortable. Remember, blocks in this position. You can also go underneath the thighs, which works quite well, as well as underneath the knees. And feel free to support over your or underneath your head and neck. The arms are going to come nice and wide here, so we open up that chest area. Yeah, I've done those nice movements for the shoulders as well today. So just really feel into this expansiveness of the shoulders once you're here. Fingertips out to the side. Yeah, brilliant. And then knees apart, big toes touching, little toes touching. Lion butterfly. So Sutta Baddha Konasana. And perhaps just connecting, which sometimes we don't always do, to this image of a butterfly. Perhaps this idea of nature prevailing, nature providing peace. And here is where we're gonna stay. So you have a few moments here just to be still, just to breathe. Nothing else that you need to do except support your body, support your mind here. So we've got another minute or so here. As long as it's still comfortable for you, you can just stay. Perhaps with the eyes closed or just breathing in to your chest and your belly. Start to just deepen through your breaths. Perhaps imagine this idea of a butterfly moving, floating, continuing its journey. We're going to take the hands onto the outside of the knees now and just draw the knees together. Just pausing for a moment here. Now, two options. You could just stay here. Second option, if you want to just come into lion so the legs stretch out, feel free. Yeah, but you're going to stay just on your mats, either with the knees bending or just stretching the legs. You could take a gentle full body stretch. Legs and toes. Arms above head, fingertips long, yeah, whatever feels good here. Yeah, nice. So just on your mat, just coming out of that rotation position with the legs, yeah. Nice. Okay, and then we're going to start to sit ourselves up if that's okay. So just bring yourself with the knees maybe hugging in, or even just a little roll onto the side here. And then let's just start to sit ourselves up just nice and gently. So coming back just into, yeah, almost the center of your mat here. And then just in sitting, we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So the legs are going to go nice and wide in that little V shape. And then we're going to just set ourselves up to come forwards here. So if you have a bolster or cushion, you can pop it just in the middle here and allow yourself to either come onto it. You could do elbows, or we could be here. If you've got that big bolster that works well, sometimes just hugging it is quite nice. You could come to here, or even just bed cushions is great, but we're going to fold forward in some way. So yeah, whatever feels good. Even stacking blocks works quite well. But we're going to bring the chest and the body forwards. The knees are going to soften as long as it's comfortable. The heels are going to sink down and the toes are going to come up to the sky. Yeah, so we're finding a stretch just on the back of the leg. So this is for the inner thighs, the hamstrings, the calf. Then once you've found kind of what feels, what we call in yin our edge, that point where you just start to feel the stretch, that's where we're going to stay. So we're going to connect to almost some of that discomfort or intensity and just sit in it. This one always feels it for me. So yeah, just staying with this intensity without it needing to be comfortable. Maybe just sitting with that idea of it feeling a little intense. And then you could either close your eyes or soften your gaze. And perhaps just thinking about this idea of just not focusing in on that intensity, but perhaps just sending your energy and your focus elsewhere. So wherever our attention goes, our energy flows as well. So perhaps just directing that energy, directing that mind, perhaps just to your breath, or again, just even coming back to that idea of a butterfly or nature. And whatever position you're in, just see if you can relax the jaw. It's often a shape that we kind of tend to tense a little bit up through the face with as well, just because the legs can feel a little intense. So just soften through your face, soften through your jaw as well. Ah. And we're going to be here for just another minute or so. So we've done about 4 minutes so far with each pose. We're going to do 3 with this one. Few more deep breaths here. And then first thing from here is just to soften your toes and maybe just circle the ankles around here. And then before we lift up the upper body, I just want you to walk your heels in and your legs in a little bit. Yeah, so just nudge your legs a little bit closer. Yep, yeah. Just take the intensity away. And then we'll press up through the head and neck. So just take your time. You're in that kind of narrow-ish V shape, yeah. And then we're going to use the hands just to guide the legs together into a hug shape. So just use your hand to bend the knees and just give yourself a hug here. So a little bit like we did before, just wrap the arms around the knees, the thighs, just give yourself a hug and sit in. Really just draw the knees nice and close in. And then we're going to finish in a bit more of a supported bridge pose. So block or cushion or bolster, whatever feels good. But you're going to come down to the earth and we're going to just take something underneath our hips. So supported bridge here. If you're using a block, usually flatter is yeah, a little easier rather than that full position. So flat with the block like a book that's flat, or you bolster and you're going to just tuck it underneath the hips here. The knees are going to bend and the hands are going to rest by the side of the body, perhaps just turning the palms up to welcome in. And the knees are bent, the feet are stacked underneath the knees. Yeah, so we've got a kind of L shape going on with the legs here, yeah. And let's just take a moment here, so supported. And the head and neck can soften, the shoulders can soften. You can just allow yourself to be held here and supported. So if you're comfortable, you can just stay here. If you'd like to feel a little bit more of a stretch into the thighs, you could perhaps just straighten your legs whilst you're in the supported bridge. So that the front of the thighs just start to stretch as well. So up to you, staying with the knees bent, feet just stacked underneath the knees, or we could just stretch the legs out whilst we're here for the last minute or so. Just bear in mind you've got a bit of an arch with the back as you're there, so just check in with the back and just see how that feels for you. Yeah. And if you've got the legs stretched out, think about the knees just staying up to the sky and the hip bones still facing upwards as well. If the legs are stretched out, we're going to start to bend one knee at a time. So the feet just rest back down again and we come back into that little supported bridge. Yeah, nice. And then really pressing the weight into the feet, the toes, just start to peel the hips up, take the block away, or whatever you've got underneath the hips, bring the hips all the way back down, and then just take a few little bridges yourself. So pressing the weight into the feet, the toes, just curl the pelvis and hips up, point the belly button up to the sky, squeeze through the back of the hips, and then just slowly unravel yourself back down again, and just do a few yourself here. Yeah, just to really release through the back, release through the hips. And just curling and rolling up, belly button up to the sky, curling and rolling down, belly button, hips, pelvis just land all the way. Last one here. We're going to hook both knees into the chest. Just give yourself that nice big hug. Wrap the hands around the knees. Draw the knees nice and close into the chest. Come into that seed-like shape. Yeah, ball-like shape here. Just give the back a good stretch out. And then let's come and prepare ourselves for our final pose, Shavasana here. If there's any other stretches that you want to do, feel free. I know you're all probably relatively warm, but if there is any layers that you want to place on, yeah, feel free. And then we'll just bring ourselves into lying when you're ready, or don't forget you can always do this on your tummy or your side. Yeah, so any position that works for you, but just make yourself nice and comfortable. Yeah, pillow underneath the head. Bolster underneath the knees is always nice. If you have a bolster, you could pop a bolster underneath knees, and then the legs could go nice and long. But just do whatever you need to do just to get comfortable here. And you can just let the arms, the shoulders, the hands just rest wherever they feel good, back onto your body or your belly, or by the side of the body even. And maybe just centering yourself on your mat, just giving the hips a little wiggle or a move, letting the feet and the toes just start to settle. And we're going to start our Shavasana with a clearing breath. So when you're ready, just take a nice deep breath in. And then sighing the breath out, maybe making a noise, whatever feels good. Just release through the breath. So take just one really nice clearing breath here, just starting to signify the end of our practice, also the end of the day. And then coming to close the eyes, soften the gaze. Softening through your forehead, softening through your eyes and your eyelids. Creating some space between your shoulders and your ears as your shoulder blades sink down. Soften through the chest, the collarbone, and the elbows, wrists and hands. Finding peace all the way down to your fingertips here. Softening into your belly, and your hips, knees, ankles and toes. Here we welcome in peace amongst the chaos and the destruction. peace we achieve when we do not expect anything from the world, but only to give loving unconditionally what we have and where we are. Reminding ourselves always of the love and the care and attention that we can still give to ourselves and to others. To keep as much inner and outer peace as we can. Let's come and place one hand onto our chest and just let the other hand rest on top. Just coming into, just your heart space here. Maybe just coming back to whoever you dedicated or sent this practice to at the beginning. Maybe it was just yourself, maybe it was just the world or somebody else. Maybe just holding this in your heart space, just sealing this practice into self, knowing that you can come back to this piece at any point. Releasing your hands, letting go of your practice. Let's take a moment to roll onto the left or right hand side of the body. Our fetal position reminds us of death of the old, rebirth of the new. And then just pressing your hands into the earth. Let's come and guide ourselves just back into sitting when you're ready. Just taking your time. Hopefully we brought a little bit more peace in amongst the chaos. We'll just give the hands a little bit of a rub here, maybe just rubbing the back of the hands as well. And then finally just finishing with the hands, maybe just around the eyes or the face, the forehead, just softening the mind, the thoughts, just placing the hands somewhere around the head space maybe, or our third eye. Let's bring the hands into the center of the chest. Taking a moment here, well done for making it to practice, just taking the time that you need and you deserve to practice yoga, being with your mind, your body, your spirit and your soul. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, just come and honor yourself deeply. Thank you for being here with me, sharing this space. Thank you, thank you. Namaste. I know we've had a few away this week. I don't know if it's half term or something, but yeah, I've got a few on holiday. So thank you for joining me. And yeah, have a good week. Yeah, have a good sleep as well. I'm gonna get ready for work, have my breakfast, and send in lots of love across the miles. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.